Anyway, whew, speaking of artists that's getting a lot of criticism, um, salute to Too Cool to Blog, salute to Bootleg Kev. Yachty was on their podcast not too long ago, and they spoke on some things that it's just this continual conversation. And I speak on this like every now and then, or probably frequently, about like how there's just this, it's just like this divide of like old school and new school that seems like it's like inherently like destined to continue to happen, especially in the hip hop. I was gonna say music, but especially hip hop, and it's kind of disheartening. But I guess as long as it's happening, we're gonna talk about it. So it says Lil Yachty speaks on going back and doing some research on old hip hop and says "Rapper's Delight" by Sugar Hill Gang was weak as hell. Let's listen to what the brother had to say.
Not all of it.
No, you're right.
There's some stuff out there that, but it's so crazy. I remember in 2016, before I did my research, I didn't know this. If it was 2016 and I knew it was so much bullshit in the 90s, I'd be like, yo, y'all fucking tripping. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of weak ass shit going on out there. And just to be, and matter of fact, actually, you know what's so crazy to me? I think about all the time, I always think about the first song in hip hop. I hope this don't fry me. It probably will. And I always think about a hip, a hop, a hip, a
Rapper's Delight.
Top and the boom, da, da, ba, ticka, bing, da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be thinking like, damn, bro, y'all be really acting like we just goddamn, like we goddamn just couldn't, like we was the only niggas saying some shit that didn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was hipping and hopping in. And I'm like, come on, bro, that shit was weak as hell, bro. Like, niggas be acting like, no, bro, come on. Yeah, I do unshoe my brother to the store, and I went in the green in the grocery store with it. Come on, bro. Yeah, acting like that shit wasn't weak. That shit was dumb weak, bro. But niggas be acting like we was the only ones that made some crazy shit. I think, I agree with you. I do think that there was more intention, probably, right? You had more, you had a DMX, and you had a Busta Rhymes, and you had a Tupac, and you had all these
Tribe Called Quest,
yeah, all these,
Nas,
yeah, of course, and you know, yes, all you had all these Prodigy and
I've seen that
Mobb Deep. So you did have, there was a lot more. You know what I will say? I think that hip hop lost its, like, it's what's the word for, like, just like the way there was division. Like, if you was from the West, you sounded like it. If you was from the North, you sounded like it.
Yeah, I think the region, I feel like the internet removed,
I guess, distinctiveness.
Yeah, and there was also, I feel like, a lot more subgenres back in the day, because we'd be like, because back in the day, you would.
I don't know about the last point.
What is he talking about with the subgenres? I don't
definitely more subgenres now. But anyway, so yeah, the primary part of why this gained some traction is because of what he's saying of like some of the pioneers of hip hop and that early sound actually wasn't all of that, which is something we've seen people say throughout history of, like, you know, some of that early hip hop. I don't know if anyone would describe it as weak as hell, but it wasn't that golden era.
Not all of it,
which people kind of think about when they describe like back in the day hip hop, of like, you know, like that era we were talking about, where there's like you could just infinitely name artists or rappers specifically that just had a tremendous level of skill. So yeah, it kind of just boils down to that question. I think this is relatively simple as two. Are y'all rocking with how he's kind of describing the fact that all throughout hip hop's life there was some weak points, and, you know, I guess saying that to say we were kind of overly critical of some of the artists from his generation, or are y'all putting on y'all backpack and saying he's tweaking? What do you say, Ghost?
I'm trying as best as I can to not be in a mood to slander Yachty. I think there's some validity to the take that people look at stuff with rose-colored lenses, and the golden eras of hip hop wasn't all perfect. There was a lot of subpar music that was being put out in that era as well. I think there's some validity to that take. However, for one, "Come for Rapper's Delight" is ridiculous because first hip hop song is fucking iconic. And this is like when NBA Twitter gets on their high horses, and then they see a clip of basketball from the '60s or the '70s, and they're like, oh, they were doing this back then, but you got players now doing X, Y, and Z. And it's like, yes, obviously, there's been advancements and there's been pioneering, or sorry, there's been advancements in the game, but it was because of the pioneers that the game's at where it's at today. So, like the rappers so delight the rappers delight slander is stupid and dumb, especially because his shit sounds 10 times worse. But leaving that aside, I don't know, man. This is, you can say rose-colored glasses and all this, but I think for it's just it was hip hop was is been way better than it is now. I don't I don't think there's any argument about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then what about you, Ace? Are you rocking with Yachty's point about hip hop being weak even in the initial stages? Or do you think he's weaker?
Yeah, I mean the overall point of in some or in the past of hip hop as a whole, there have certainly been weak artists outside of Yachty, but going back using Rapper's Delight as an example is just like Go said, it's so dumb because of the historical context. If it's the first rap song, like you you can't um you can't just critique it or compare it to the the way or the heights and like the ways that uh art as a whole has evolved and say, oh, this is bad because it doesn't match up to like a Nas verse. It's like it's retarded. Like
Yeah,
what are you doing? um but yeah, I mean I feel like I don't want to give him bail, but he chose an asinine example. That's all it really boils down to. Like he could have chose another.
Yeah, a better equivalent would have been like the Vanilla Ice song or something like that.
Yes,
That popped
exactly.
off
Thank
and
you.
was
Perfect.
trash,
Yes.
but people look back on it in a positive way. He just
Yes.
chose the worst example ever.
Yes.
yeah. Honestly, it boils down to like for anything. I'm pretty sure most things. If you look at it and try to compare, or kind of like just engage with in the same way you engage with something that came thereafter, is like it's just not gonna make sense. Like some people complain about how like some cars these days are made. But it just wouldn't make sense for you to compare it to like the first car ever made was like a weak car. It didn't have a lot of
Exactly.
horsepower because the first car was crazy because it was the first automobile, not because of like its actual like credentials compared to or specifications compared to like what cars of something of another era is. Um, so damn, that kind of sucks. I feel like when I saw this originally, I thought some people were gonna come on here and give some bail to Yachty. And I guess we kind of did, because again, we do acknowledge that there are some points throughout hip hop and music in general that aren't going to be as strong, artists that aren't going to be as strong as others. But yeah, I guess he was just sound dumb. That's the moral story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the moral of the story. But now that we had our reasonable takes and all that, the fact that Yachty's talking shit about any other hip hop is fucking diabolical. Like this dog shit as he has maybe one good verse out of the hundreds he's put out, and he's talking shit about other artists. He's more well known for his freaking fashion than he is for his music, because music is garbage.
To be not to say fair, but the reason why he's constantly engaging in the conversation is because I think when people look at like that era or the start of the era where we started to see like a style that's away from the Kendricks and Vince Staples and Joey Badasses and even Drake and so on and so forth, is because like it was him, Uzi, and another one or two that was getting heavily criticized. Of like, oh, you guys don't know the history of hip hop, which even he acknowledges in 2016 or whenever he came on, he was starting to get traction. He didn't know about early hip hop. They didn't really know about the business side. That's also infamous, and they just didn't really seem like they had a respect or appreciation for the culture, quote unquote. But they were getting a lot of attention. So he's been fighting his battle all his career, and now he feels a bit vindicated because apparently saying there are other points of hip hop that weren't very strong.
And the problem is people been saying this too. Like people have already exonerated his foolishness with this same argument, but they used better examples. It's like he came back and tried to remind us of what people have already said, and then used the worst example to try to do it.
And he's the worst person of all to do it as well, because he sucks. It's not like he was good at his craft. It's just a different style. It's like he's the worst at it. Yeah. It's like freaking Killian Hayes critiquing all-star point guards from the 90s. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, like you said, he has like literally one good verse damn near ever. And I don't like this, and I don't like to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, because one good verse is all I need. Cause I can just reference that verse, but I think he's kind of really put himself in a worse light with this take, in so much that we're already probably getting copyright striking all over this particular podcast. So for those who may not be familiar with the latest rendition of what Yachty can put out, let's give it a quick listen and hear what it, because he's I guess a good bit of context. The reason why he's doing interviews with his crew is because they just put out some music recently, and he recently did a freestyle on another platform. Let's see if it's as good as his peers and maybe his contemporaries. That's in the same genre. Oh, and I'll let it speak for itself. I can't speak to why he looks like that, but that first comment is crazy, but it is reflective of it.
Incredibles freestyle series. Let's get
man. They got 100 things going on and really got time to keep this shit out the dome, this shit out the phone, but it's still from the heart.
All right, I'm with it there.
Let's sit on the ones and twos.
I'm with it there.
$5 million worth of didn't work in my mouth, so listen when I speak.
Imagine you work at a radio station and you've seen some of the most amazing artists come to your station and do some dope freestyles, and you just have to accept the fact that some of these newer artists, I guess even Drake, who did it before, are going to be freestyling off their phone.
Bro had to give a whole fucking disclaimer, bro, terms and conditions before we started freestyling.
But he has the advantage. He doesn't have to come off the top of the dome, so maybe it's going to be a banger, right?
Oh God!
Spoiler: it won't be.
Let's do it, bro.
15 with I'm moving like a southern cracker. Folks around my name like I'm the one going against the pastor. I get you on some clicks, but what's the deal? What is you after? Super dog just like my last name, Caster. I ain't never lied, I spoke the truth, please shit on absent. I can tell you're faking all the way down from your accent. Drugs killed the kids, I'm too convinced it was an accident. Cause any nigga with a liquor sense on how to try this shit. Rolls Royce so big, feel like a damn nigga buy that shit. If I dream about it well, when I wake up, I'ma buy that bitch.
It was somehow worse than I thought it would be. Holy shit, bro.
Again, I established you can't necessarily compare apples to whatever this fruit is, but who here would rather listen to this than Sugar Hill Gang?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, what a comment. Can't say that out loud, but yeah, the fact that he both said it was written and it's garbage is just a double whammy.
Yeah. I usually like to give people a salute, but I can't salute y'all for this one. This is big garbage. Big trash. But hey man, salute to hip hop as a culture. It's very, what is that, like 50 plus years? It's definitely come very far.
Well, has it?
I would say.
This is what it is now. So,
if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.